Hello everyone. Today's game I'm gonna teach you some basic principles in the opening and how to play the opening moves and without losing moves, and how should we develop all the pieces. Okay, fine. Today we have to learn what is the center. First of all, this is the main thing in any game. So first, in opening, everyone tries to occupy the center, then develop all the minor pieces first, then castle the king either side of board and develop the major pieces next. So today's example, I will show you what happens if opponent develops his major pieces first, then his minor pieces and development. Okay, fine. Today game is between Paul Morphy and Macallan James, played between in New Orleans in 1849 Orleans. Okay, fine. Here Morphy played e4 and opponent replied e5 and knight f3. So Morphy going with the opening principles, developing all the pieces to the center and taking care of the center. Okay, he replied queen f6, which is very bad. He ignored the opening principles and developed his queen to support this e5 pawn, and later maybe he is planning for this checkmate. Okay, immediately Morphy seized the initiative and played knight c3 with the idea of knight d5 attacking the black queen. He replied with c6, preventing knight d5, and Morphy played d4. See, for the first queen f6 move, he just wasted a move with valuable move of c6 instead of developing all the pieces. Instead of developing all the minor pieces, how see black wasting his all the tempos. Okay, now he is not able to develop any of the pieces because white is threatening d into e5. So opponent was forced to take e into d4. Now Morphy quickly played e5 and attacking the black queen. See, he is not giving opponent to develop his pieces for the just one mistake of queen f6. Now queen g6. Now black plan is to develop his pieces, so white will not allow those things to happen. So he played bishop d3, giving one more pawn for the initiative. After queen g2, see how many moves the queen have came. Queen f6 to g6 and g2. Okay, now he played rook g1. See, white is developing all the pieces very fast, aggressive to the center, and whereas black is lagging in development. Okay, after queen h3, he played rook g3 and queen h5 is the only good move, and rook g5. See, Morphy is not leaving the opponent queen. He wants to utilize as many squares as much as possible by developing his pieces. So here he replied queen h3, threatening queen. He have to go back at one point. Okay, here Morphy played bishop f1. I think bishop f1 is little interesting, but still more aggressive is bishop f5. Why? Because if he played bishop f5, he have to come to queen h6, which is under pin. Maybe your rook can attack anything, and this queen is under discovered attack, and this bishop is indirectly came to action. Okay, after bishop f1, he replied queen e6, and here Morphy played knight into d4, centralizing the knight to d4 and still attacking the queen. See how many moves he has wasted with the queen. It was actually forced to waste the moves. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. He has wasted 7 moves in that opening of 11 moves, whereas white is fully developed with this rook, these both knights, this bishop. This bishop is actually going to ready for attack, whereas all the black pieces are still lagging to develop. Here after nd4, queen e7, and this is the queen 8th move. He played knight e4 with the idea of knight d6 and maybe rook f5 and f7, maybe knight f7. So all this will come, and maybe after knight f5 and d6 is also very good. So he immediately played h6, want to drive this rook to back. And here Morphy, I think he blundered by playing knight f5. This is actually over aggression. Over aggression is not so good. Why? Because now knight f5 loses immediately with queen b4 check, and after c3 he loses the piece on e4, or if knight c3 comes, he simply grabs this rook. Even in this position, I think knight d6 is pretty easy to win the game. For example, knight d6, king d8 and rook f5, threatening knight into f7, which is not stoppable. For example, if we played g6 and knight f7, there is only two options, king d8 and king c7. First of all, if we see king d8, we'll play knight d6 check and king e8, and knight e6 is winning. After queen e6, rook, queen e6, rook f8 and king c7, rook c8, clearing all the pieces. King b6, and even it will be mated. Queen d4, c5, yeah, it's getting mated. c5 is met by queen c5, and king a5 is met by knight b7 checkmate. So after d into e6, you can play rook f7 and trapping this queen. So after king c7, in this position you simply grab knight h8, g into f5 and bishop f4 with a massive attack on the black king. Okay friend, after knight f5 he simply didn't utilize the blunder and played queen e6, and immediately Morphy played knight fd6 and bishop d6, knight into d6 check and king d8, and here he played bishop c4, developing all the pieces, and black still having very much difficulty in development. So he played queen e7 and immediately he played knight f7, king c7, and here he saw the mating threat. He played queen d6 check, queen into d6 and e into d6, king b6, bishop e3 check and c5, bishop into c5 and king a5 and rook g3 followed by mating. He played b5 and rook a3 is a checkmate. Okay, this is a very good example of if opponent plays a mistake like queen in the opening, you can utilize it very good and take all the initiative, develop all the pieces as fast as possible, and you can easily win the game. I think you all like this example. See you in the next class. Bye.